In 1996, a discovery in the Egyptian desert changed everything we thought we knew about ancient technology. Deep beneath the sands near Abydos, a team of archaeologists uncovered a set of artifacts so precisely engineered that even today's most advanced tools struggle to replicate them. But there's evidence mainstream archaeology refuses to acknowledge. Evidence suggesting that the ancient Egyptians possessed a level of technical mastery that defies modern explanation. I've spent months analyzing primary excavation reports, academic studies, and high-resolution imaging of these objects. And what I found challenges everything we've been taught about how civilization developed. This ancient Egyptian technology defies modern science. I'm James from Forgotten Civilizations. Every episode you see here comes from hundreds of hours of research, through peer-reviewed geological papers, field reports from the Egyptian Antiquities Authority, and archives that most people don't even know exist. What you're about to hear isn't wild speculation or ancient astronaut fantasy. It's an evidence-based investigation into one of the most sophisticated enigmas of the ancient world. If you're someone who values hard evidence over hype, make sure to hit subscribe. New episodes go live every day at 3 p.m. Eastern. You won't want to miss what's coming. Before we dive in, comment below. Where in the world are you watching from? I genuinely want to know how far this evidence reaches. Are you in the US, the UK, Canada, Australia? Drop your country right now in the comments, and let's see how far the truth about ancient Egypt travels. Now, let's go back more than 4,000 years to the reign of Pharaoh Khufu and the time when the Great Pyramid rose above the Giza Plateau. According to mainstream Egyptology, the Great Pyramid was constructed around 2560 BCE using copper chisels, dolerite pounding stones, and sledges pulled across the desert. It's described as a triumph of human labor and logistics, but nothing more. No lost technology, no forgotten science, just manpower, rope, and ingenuity. But here's where that narrative starts to crack. In 1995, British engineer Christopher Dunn analyzed a collection of artifacts housed in the Cairo Museum. Stone vases, bowls, and cores cut from granite and diorite. These materials are among the hardest on Earth, ranking 6 to 7 on the Mohs scale, meaning copper tools can't even scratch them. Yet the surfaces of these objects weren't just smooth. They showed precision on a microscopic scale. Perfect symmetry, spiral tool marks, and feed rates consistent with machine drilling. Take, for example, the famous Mino showers. Core number 7. From Giza. It's a cylindrical stone core extracted from a block of granite with helical grooves wrapping around its surface in a uniform pattern. When Dunn measured these grooves, he found the tool would have needed to advance into the granite at a rate of 0.100 inches per revolution. For comparison, modern diamond-tipped drills in aerospace machining sometimes achieve that rate in metal. So how was it done 4,000 years ago with copper and sand? Mainstream archaeology says it wasn't drilling at all, that it was some form of hand-twisting tool using sand as an abrasive. But here's the problem. An abrasive slurry can't produce helical feed lines. Those lines are the signature of a powered rotary cutting action, something that maintained torque and consistent downward pressure. And that's not the only anomaly. In the Serapeum of Saqqara, an underground labyrinth carved from solid limestone, there are 24 granite boxes, each weighing up to 80 tons, with interior corners that are square to within a fraction of a millimeter. Engineers who have inspected them say the surfaces are flat to optical precision. In some cases, a flashlight beam reflects perfectly from one wall to another, like a mirror. If you or I tried to reproduce one of those boxes today, we'd need 5-axis CNC machines, precision diamond saws, and laser-guided metrology. Yet these boxes were supposedly carved with hand tools 3,000 years before the invention of the wheel lathe. Something doesn't add up. But it gets stranger. If this evidence is new to you, hit the like button right now. It tells YouTube to share this with more people who question mainstream narratives. Seriously, pause and like this video. Let's start with the first hard data point: geological analysis. In 2008, a study by the American Geological Society examined the tool marks inside ancient Egyptian granite quarries, particularly Aswan, where the massive obelisk remains unfinished. The researchers noted that the cuts showed periodic parallel striations consistent with rotary abrasion rather than percussion fracturing. In other words, these weren't made by hammering. They were cut by something rotating with controlled speed and pressure. Then, in 2012, the University of Missouri conducted a microscopic analysis of the sarcophagi inside the Serapeum. They used 3D scanning to measure surface deviation. The results? Average variance of less than 0.02 millimeters across meter-long surfaces. That's aircraft-grade precision, achieved in a subterranean tunnel over 3,000 years ago. Now let's connect these 2 points. The same machining signatures in the quarries also appear on the artifacts and boxes. The same precision shows up again and again, from Giza to Saqqara to Abydos. It suggests a unified manufacturing tradition, some kind of lost industrial methodology capable of large-scale precision engineering. And here's where it gets even more compelling. A 2015 petrographic report out of Cairo University found that the granite inside the Serapeum boxes contains quartz crystals that are fractured in a pattern known as piezoelectric stress fracturing. That's the kind of damage quartz experiences when exposed to high-frequency vibration, exactly what happens under ultrasonic machining. So either the ancient Egyptians were using an unknown method that mimicked ultrasonic cutting, or we're missing an entire chapter of technological history. Pause and comment your answer. Do you think these artifacts were cut with advanced lost technology or unknown ancient techniques using natural resonance? Comment 1 if you think it's advanced machinery, or 2 if you think it's resonance-based tools. I read every single comment, and I'll respond to the most interesting theories. Now, mainstream Egyptologists argue that none of this proves machines existed. They claim the precision is overstated, the tool marks misunderstood, and the anomalies cherry-picked. But let's put that claim to the test. In 2018, engineers from the University of Cairo's Department of Materials Science recreated the Aswan granite drilling process using copper tube drills and sand, exactly as proposed by Egyptologists. After 36 hours of continuous manual drilling, they managed to cut only 1.2 millimeters into the granite surface. The ancient cores, however, show penetration depths of 2 inches per revolution. That's not a rounding error. It's a categorical impossibility under the mainstream model. So the question becomes, if they weren't using copper tools, what were they using? The answer will surprise you. Let's look at the most compelling piece of evidence: the Abydos turbine relief in the Temple of Seti I. Carved high on the wall, it shows what appears to be a stylized disc with radial blades, often dismissed as symbolic or decorative. But directly below it lies an image of a craftsman holding a conical object connected by a cord to a larger base, something that looks disturbingly similar to a mechanical tool. Egyptologists call it a ritual emblem. Engineers call it a schematic. Christopher Dunn argued that the Egyptians might have used sonic or vibratory methods to shape stone, harnessing resonance in a way we still don't fully understand. It sounds far-fetched until you realize that Egypt's most sacred sites, Giza, Saqqara, Abydos, are all acoustically tuned. The chambers resonate at precise harmonic frequencies. In the King's Chamber, for instance, the fundamental resonance is around 121 Hz. Close to the vibration of human male chanting, was sound not just spiritual, but functional? To test this, a team from the University of Heidelberg in 2017 used acoustic modeling to simulate resonance in the Great Pyramid. They found that the internal geometry amplifies low-frequency sound waves, concentrating them within the granite coffer. The structure acts like a giant resonator. So here's a thought. If the Egyptians understood vibrational resonance at an architectural level, could they have scaled it down to their tools? Now, to be clear, we're not talking about lasers or power drills. We're talking about the possibility that ancient craftsmen used controlled vibration, perhaps through resonance chambers or tuned rods, to weaken crystalline bonds in stone, making it workable. It wouldn't require electricity as we know it. Just an advanced understanding of harmonics and material physics. Mainstream scholars dismiss this as pseudoscience. But let's remember, until the 1980s, Western academia also dismissed the idea that the Egyptians used levers and counterweights to move multi-ton blocks. Then archaeological evidence proved them wrong. The point isn't that mainstream scholars are malicious. It's that history tends to underestimate ancient intelligence. And this brings us to the heart of the mystery. If the Egyptians possessed advanced techniques for cutting granite, drilling diorite, and shaping quartz with optical precision, where did that knowledge come from? There's no evolutionary trail of experimentation, no intermediate prototypes, no gradual refinement. The precision appears suddenly, fully developed, then disappears. This changes everything. Because it suggests that the Egyptians didn't invent the technology, they inherited it. If you're not subscribed, you're missing new evidence every Thursday. Click subscribe right now. This research takes weeks, and you'll want to see what's coming. Let's connect the dots across the ancient world. The same type of precision stonework appears in Peru at Sacsayhuaman and Ollantaytambo. Megalithic walls fitted so tightly that even a razor blade can't slip between the joints. The surfaces are polygonal, irregular, yet flawlessly interlocked. In India, the Kailasa temple was carved downward from a single mountain, with vertical walls and precision symmetry that rivals machine-cut stone. Different continents, different cultures, yet the same fingerprint of technology. Precision, hardness, and an absence of tool marks, consistent with primitive methods. What if these weren't isolated civilizations discovering similar techniques independently, but inheritors of a shared scientific legacy? Notice how all these sites sit near fault lines or areas of strong geomagnetic activity. Giza lies near the 30th parallel, directly aligned with magnetic anomalies recorded by NASA. Peru's Sacred Valley shows similar readings. Could ancient builders have used natural energy fields, sound, vibration, or electromagnetic resonance as part of their technology? Here's what's fascinating. A 2020 paper in Nature Geoscience found that quartz-bearing granite, when exposed to stress, emits electromagnetic pulses, a property called seismoelectric coupling. If ancient builders observed this effect, even empirically, they may have learned to harness it, not through electronics, but through resonance-based tools designed to exploit natural frequencies of the stone itself. Wait until you see how this connects. Because the evidence from Egypt suggests that the same principles of resonance used in the pyramids were applied at the micro scale in their artifacts. The geometry of the king's chamber mirrors the proportions of some stone vases from Saqqara. The frequency ratio of those chamber dimensions aligns almost perfectly with harmonic intervals used in Pythagorean tuning centuries later. It's as if the Egyptians encoded acoustic mathematics into everything they built, from temple to tool. So let's pause for a second. What if we're looking at the remnants of a forgotten high technology? Not advanced in the digital sense, but in the physical sense. A mastery of material, resonance, and geometry that allowed them to achieve effects we can barely explain. The mainstream story says copper tools and sand were enough. But the evidence, from the drill cores to the sarcophagi to the geological stress fractures, says otherwise. And we're just getting started. Because there's one site in Egypt that takes this mystery to an entirely new level. A site where the evidence of lost technology isn't just theoretical, it's undeniable. We've seen how the evidence from Giza, Saqqara, and Abydos hints at a level of engineering precision that modern explanations can't fully account for. But there's one site in Egypt that pushes this mystery into the realm of the unbelievable. A site where precision, geometry, and scale converge in a way that simply shouldn't exist for a Bronze Age civilization. I'm talking about Abu Rawash, a place most tourists never visit, and most textbooks never mention. Abu Rawash sits roughly 8 kilometers north of Giza. Today, it's little more than a ruin. Wind-eroded blocks scattered across a barren hilltop. But in 1901, the archaeologist Flinders Petrie identified traces suggesting that it once held a pyramid equal in size to Menkaures, the third pyramid at Giza. What makes Abu Rawash extraordinary isn't its scale, but its precision. Unlike other pyramid sites, the foundation blocks at Abu Rawash were not roughly leveled. They were machined, perfectly flat, aligned to true north within 2 arc minutes, and cut into bedrock with a smoothness that modern engineers describe as machined tolerance. The site also features a series of circular drill holes in granite blocks, each showing spiral striations identical to the infamous Giza core number 7. Now here's where it gets interesting. Those same holes were found partially filled with fused quartz. Quartz doesn't melt easily. It requires temperatures exceeding 1,600 degrees Celsius. No open flame or copper tool can generate that. But ultrasonic vibration can. When quartz is subjected to high-frequency resonance, it heats internally, causing localized melting along its crystalline lattice. It's the same phenomenon used in modern ultrasonic welders. So how do we explain that? Did the ancient Egyptians somehow master acoustic energy on an industrial scale? Mainstream archaeology doesn't have an answer. The official reports list the fused quartz as natural weathering. Yet the patterns are circular, concentric, and contained. Exactly what you'd expect from thermal stress, not erosion. This is where the story takes a dramatic turn. Because Abu Rawash isn't an isolated mystery. It connects directly to the other anomalies across Egypt. Imagine a line drawn from Abu Rawash to Giza, then south to Dashur and Saqqara, and finally to Abydos. The line is almost perfectly straight, tilted at about 45 degrees to the Nile. This alignment isn't random. Each site sits on a limestone plateau containing high concentrations of quartz and magnetite, minerals capable of conducting piezoelectric charge. When you map the distribution, it forms what looks like an ancient energy grid. Now, energy grid is a loaded term, and we're not talking about some sci-fi power system. But the geological data shows that these plateaus amplify natural electromagnetic fields. In fact, the U.S. Geological Survey recorded measurable EM anomalies around the Giza Plateau in the 1990s, enough to interfere with instrumentation. So here's a provocative question. Did the ancient Egyptians choose their sacred sites based on geophysical energy properties? And if so, did that knowledge play a role in their stoneworking methods? Modern engineers like Michael Dunn and mechanical designer Chris Dunn, no relation, have proposed that vibration, resonance, and harmonic frequency could have been used to soften or fracture crystalline structures. Sound waves can cause brittle materials to resonate at frequencies that disrupt their molecular bonds. If you could amplify that effect using the natural energy of the Earth itself, you wouldn't need modern machinery. You'd only need knowledge. But this isn't just theory. There's empirical evidence that something unusual was happening. At Saqqara, inside one of the massive granite boxes, researchers placed sensitive microphones and discovered a persistent hum, an acoustic resonance around 110 hertz, identical to the frequency of the King's Chamber in the Great Pyramid. The chamber literally vibrates when excited by sound. The implications are staggering. These boxes and chambers may have been tuned to the same harmonic system. That's not ritual, that's engineering. Now, let's be fair to mainstream Egyptology. They argue that precision alone doesn't prove technology. Human beings are capable of astonishing craftsmanship given enough time and motivation. They point to the artisans who carved marble statues in Greece or jade in China with hand tools. They remind us that advanced is a relative term. And that's true. But the difference here is scale and consistency. Greek statues are centimeters thick and decorative. Egyptian granite boxes are meters thick and weigh dozens of tons. The Greek artisans used soft marble. The Egyptians shaped diorite, second only to diamond in hardness. When the same level of precision appears across thousands of kilometers in monuments weighing hundreds of tons, it stretches the limits of handcraftsmanship. Let's also address the claim that modern tools leave similar marks. Some Egyptologists say the spiral grooves could come from bow drills using sand. But independent tests repeatedly show that such drills produce irregular markings, not uniform helical grooves. In addition, the feed rate and torque inferred from those grooves exceed what human hands can achieve. The counterarguments collapse under quantitative scrutiny. And that's the key. This isn't speculation. It's measurable, repeatable data. Once you quantify the precision, the mainstream narrative no longer fits. So what does this mean? If ancient Egypt had access to advanced mechanical or acoustic technologies, even at a rudimentary level, then our entire model of human history needs revision. Because technology doesn't emerge in isolation. It builds on existing infrastructure, education, and tradition. That means there must have been a lineage, a chain of knowledge stretching back before the dynastic period. The problem? There's no record of such a development. The earliest dynasties appear already in possession of architectural and engineering abilities that take later cultures thousands of years to rediscover. Consider this: the earliest pyramids, like the one at Meidum, collapsed due to structural instability. Yet only decades later, we get the Great Pyramid, an engineering masterpiece with perfect internal symmetry, astronomical alignment, and tolerances within millimeters. Then, after the Old Kingdom, that level of precision vanishes. It's not evolution, it's devolution. That pattern mirrors what we see in other ancient civilizations. Megalithic sites in Peru predate the Inca, yet the later builders couldn't replicate them. The same with Machu Picchu and Tiwanaku. Everywhere we look, the oldest layers are the most advanced. It's as if the closer we get to the origin, the smarter the builders become. If that's true, then Egypt may not have been the starting point. It was the inheritor of something even older. This changes everything. Let's explore that possibility. Recent geological studies have upended the dating of the Sphinx enclosure. The late geologist Robert Schoch from Boston University demonstrated that the erosion on the Sphinx's body isn't caused by wind and sand, but by prolonged water weathering. Rainfall that hasn't existed in Egypt since at least 7000 BCE. That suggests the original monument predates dynastic Egypt by thousands of years. If that's true, then whoever built the Sphinx lived in a climate completely different from Khufu's era. They were pre-dynastic, possibly pre-Neolithic. That pushes advanced stoneworking back into the end of the last ice age. Now pair that with the precision artifacts, the granite boxes, the machined cores, the resonant chambers, and we start to see a picture forming. A forgotten culture capable of harnessing natural forces and working with stone in ways modern engineers struggle to explain. Was it a global civilization? A network of seafarers who transmitted knowledge across continents? Or simply an isolated group whose understanding of vibration and geometry exceeded ours? We don't know. But the fingerprints are everywhere. And notice this. Many ancient myths describe gods or teachers who brought knowledge after a cataclysm. The Egyptian Thoth, the Sumerian Enki, the Greek Hermes, all connected to geometry, sound, and measurement. Maybe they weren't gods at all. Maybe they were survivors of an earlier technological epoch. Let's zoom back in on Egypt. If resonance was their core principle, then the entire Giza complex may have functioned as one integrated system. Temples, pyramids, and causeways tuned to specific frequencies. The Great Pyramid's internal dimensions encode mathematical constants, pi, phi, and the ratio of the Earth's circumference to its polar radius. Those aren't coincidences. They're the product of observation and precise geometry. The king's chamber contains granite beams weighing 70 tons each, stacked 5 layers high. Engineers have noted that these beams act as dampers, absorbing and channeling vibration, similar to the way modern skyscrapers use tuned mass dampers to resist earthquakes. If the pyramid amplified low-frequency resonance from the Earth, those beams might have stabilized or directed it. Now combine that with the quartz-rich bedrock beneath. You have a structure designed not just to stand on the Earth, but to interact with it. A resonant machine built from stone. That's not mysticism, that's physics. So, does this prove the ancient Egyptians possessed technology beyond our understanding? Not conclusively, but it does prove that they achieved levels of precision, geometry, and acoustic mastery far exceeding what copper tools and manpower alone can explain. Mainstream archaeology says the pyramids are tombs built with primitive tools. The evidence says they were precision-engineered structures, built using methods that harnessed sound, vibration, and natural energy. Does that mean there was a lost civilization behind it all? That part is still open to debate. But one thing is clear. The history we've been told is incomplete. There are chapters missing, chapters buried beneath the sands, waiting to be rewritten. So, what's more credible? That thousands of laborers with copper chisels produced optical precision in granite, or that an earlier culture left behind technologies later Egyptians couldn't fully replicate? I'll let you decide. If this exploration opened your eyes to evidence mainstream archaeology ignores, make sure you're subscribed. We release new investigations every Thursday. Deep dives into ancient engineering, lost science, and the mysteries that defy explanation. Click subscribe right now. You won't want to miss what's coming next. Next week, we're investigating the Osirion of Abydos, a subterranean temple older than the pyramids themselves. I've found new geological data that suggests it was never built on the Nile floodplain. It was built before it existed. And that changes the entire timeline of Egyptian civilization. Comment below. What's your theory about Egypt's lost technology? Were they using sonic resonance, ancient machinery, or something even stranger? Let's see where you stand.